Hey, Brandon here. Welcome back to another episode of the 2023 NFL Draft Rookie Report. Today, we have an exciting tight end. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about tight ends, but we do here on this channel. I'm here with my good friend, Jason DiRienzo. He is a recent graduate of the Scouting Academy and co-founder of Devy Watch. Jason, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, we are going to talk about Dalton Kincaid. We're going to talk about his film this year. And if you didn't see his USC game, you missed a very, very special game. We're going to talk. It was such a good game. We are going to talk about his draft capital, and we are going to talk also about his future dynasty value. So thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Jason and I have done probably 10 rookies so far that you will be drafting next April after the NFL draft. Hopefully you're doing your rookie drafts after the NFL draft. But in any case, so hit that subscribe button. Let's get right to it, Jason. Let's talk about Dalton Kincaid. He is one of my favorite tight ends coming into the class. I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty decent tight end class. I know Michael Mayer is at the top, obviously, of everyone's ranks. And Jason and I, we already did his rookie profile report show. So go check that out as well. He was the first tight end that we did on the channel. But Dalton Kincaid was an easy second for me. He's ranked number 2 in my Devy or my rookie ranks anyway. But listen, let's get right to it. He's 6'4", 242 pounds this season, 70 receptions, 890 yards, 8 touchdowns. At the end of the show, I'll be adding that USC game, so you'll be able to go right from this show right into looking at that. But man, he had a monster performance. He had like 15 receptions or something for, I don't know what the stats were, but it was a monster game, and it will be a fun video. And I think what you're going to see when you watch that video and film on him, I record every reception of that game. So everything that we're going to talk about here shortly about his scouting report, I think you're going to see in that game. And why, for me personally, I'm excited about Dalton Kincaid. I like his athleticism a lot and think he's going to hit our dynasty roster. So we got some PFF stats here. We start these shows out kind of looking at some stats here that we can kind of briefly get a snapshot of what it looked like. Snap location. All right. So, he did 55% out of the slot. He did 10% out wide, which is kind of nice. Shows his little versatility there as a tight end. Not many tight ends are out wide playing, and 35% in line. So, I mean, he was basically a slot guy, worked in line. And when we talk about his scouting report here, we're going to see that I think in his dynasty value, I think is going to be playing in the slot, not so much in line being a blocker. But as we know, when we play fantasy football, we're not too worried about blockers. We want guys that are out catching the ball. So he had a catch percentage on the season of 2022 season of 75%. He had yards per reception of 12.7. I think that's stretching the field pretty good for a tight end. His average depth of target was 8.7, which is also a good number. And his yak per reception, his yards after catch, was 5.7. I don't think he's the most explosive tight end that we're going to see, but we don't really need that out of our tight ends. We just need them to catch the ball, get 5 or 6 extra yards, move the chains, and get yourself open as a space creator. Anything about those stats you want to make a comment on?
Actually, they all make sense to me. From where he was catching the ball, attacking the middle of the field, these stats actually align with the film.
Great. So we're going to talk about his scouting report. Jason and we've watched the games extensively before we record these shows. So we're going to talk about really 4 traits here. Is athleticism. I always kind of start off with tight ends because I think for translation to our dynasty rosters, you can have great hands and ball skills or whatever, but the athleticism to get open and to create space, I think, is equally important. So David or Jason, I'm going to read to you from my scouting report on my Devy Dynasty dashboard. And I just want, you can kind of pipe in, let me know if you agree or not. But I have here, he's above average athleticism for the position in his route running and at the catch point. He has the ability to break quickly, giving him an advantage when it comes to creating space. And he's got the body control to contort and challenge to make plays on the ball in contested catch situations. I'll tell you that USC game, he made some really nice plays in the middle of the field, and he made some unbelievable boundary plays as well.
Yes, he did. And I agree with everything you just said as far as the athleticism goes. He's hurdling guys out there. He's a fluid mover for 6'4" in the 240s. So, yeah, I think he's a special prospect for where he can be a versatile player at the next level.
So his ball skills and hands, I mean, I think he, again, reading from my report here, he's a sure-handed receiver, and he's got really good length. He frequently plucks the balls with his extension and ease. I believe he has some of the best hands among all the draft-eligible tight ends in the class. And I just put a note here again to my dashboard subscribers, just to encourage you to go watch the USC film below. I attach it to his profile on my dashboard. So, but I think he's got great ball skills and hands, man. I mean, the kid has, what we just talked about, a 75% catch radius. I don't know. I got no complaints about his ball skills and hands. I think he goes up tough. He goes up physical at the catch point. And he usually comes down with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Mayer is one of the guys that I'm watching. I haven't seen him drop a ball, and Kincaid's one of the same ones. I mean, he had 93 targets with only 2 drops on the season. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So his route running, I thought he, again, when I watched the tight end position, I kind of look for route trees, just to see what kind of versatility they have. I thought he can threaten at all levels on the field. He obviously has experience with multiple alignments, which I think the NFL scouts are going to like. The fact that he did play out wide. I mean, shit, this guy was running down the boundary on 30-yard down the field go routes. So, yeah. I mean, he's got that ability. So I thought he was quick off the line of scrimmage. I thought he varied his tempo on his routes really nice, kind of lulling some defenders to sleep and then accelerating. So I don't know. I think he's a fluid route runner, and he was snappy through his breaks. I mean, I just like what I saw when it came to, his ability, from a route running standpoint to create space. Cause I think that is really, either whether you're a wide receiver or tight end, that space creation, I think, is, from us, from a fantasy standpoint, I think what we're looking for.
Oh, it's super valuable. I mean, and the thing is, he's very manipulative too. I saw him manipulating safeties in the middle of the field with upper and lower body gestures, and just his ability to separate from coverage at the same time with just quick jerks and stemming. That's something that's pretty advanced. So that's just going to add another level of what we want to see at the next level for him.
Yeah, I mean, I thought his concentration too at the catch point, and he's just got that dog in him.
So good.
You got that dog in him. Now, listen, looking at other, scouting reports and what we've seen on film as well. I mean, if there's one knock on this guy, is going to be his physicality and his blocking. All right. So, again, I did trying to watch some of them blocking. I thought he did an admirable job. I think people are like really rough on him when it comes to the route run.
Yeah,
for the blocking.
I think so too. But he's not going to sit there and sustain a block, but he can chip block. He can bump and go.
At 242, he might not be able to take on 290-pound pass rushers and stuff like that, but I think he at least is admirable in his efforts, at least from what I saw. But I'll tell you, I love the word when I watched him try and block, when I watched him catch the vertical boundary receptions, go up and get the ball, his competitive toughness. I really, really like. He took some wicked hits and got like right up off the ground. I think he's a tough player. I think he welcomes contact as well from a physicality standpoint. I think he can win the 50-50 balls. So I don't know. I like Kincaid. I just, the minute I saw him at Utah play, like I was always, always looking for those tight ends, and that USC game sold me. I mean, this kid, I hope he lands in a really good spot in the draft, because I think if he can get an opportunity, and like, listen, when Kyle Pitts went to the NFL, he wasn't known for his blocking either. He could do it. He was a little bigger.
I mean, he could do it, right? But he wasn't well known for it, just like
he wasn't well known for it. So what are your thoughts on his blocking and physicality?
I don't. He's not a blocker. He's just not. But can you use him in a scheme to at least be serviceable in that area? Absolutely. But for me, he's a receiver, and I think that's what we're gonna see him do at the NFL. And he looks like a receiver to me. The way he catches the ball, Rashee Rice, his adjustments and the way he catches over defenders, I don't see anything different from what Kincaid can do. So
right. Oh, I like that com. Right. Rashee Rice. You turning a corner on me over there?
No, but we're talking about contested situations.
Yes.
Competitive nature.
Right.
I mean, obviously Kincaid has more weight than Rashee Rice, but the same alpha mentality.
Yeah. Now he's going to be a fifth round. He's going to be a fifth-year senior as well. So just to, that might be a little bit of a knock.
Experience is okay for me when it comes to tight end.
Yeah, I would agree. I think from the running back position, I think we get a little bit more hung up on the age, but
yeah,
I like myself some Kincaid. He's one of my favorite players. I got a few shares in my Devy leagues. I got a couple of my C2C leagues. So I've got plenty of shares. I hope he hits. So let's talk right about it. Let's talk about his draft capital. Let's talk about his fantasy outlook, for the viewers. So NFL draft capital right now, I think he's a day 2 guy. I'm thinking late second, early third. I mean, Mayer's probably going to go number one. He's the number one guy for pretty much everybody. And I think he's going to be a round one. I don't think there's going to be any other tight ends taking him round one, but I could see him late day two, early day three. I don't think he gets out of day three. What do you think?
I'm going to agree with you. I don't think he gets out of day three, but I do think he's like a late second type of guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. His rookie draft selection. Now, if you play in super flex leagues like I do, that mostly are tight end premium, and this kid gets day two draft capital and lands in a nice spot that maybe, can get an early opportunity. Because as we know in fantasy, a lot of times it's all about opportunity. So I'm thinking he's a round three guy in a rookie draft.
I got round three too, and I will be targeting him in round three.
Oh, I definitely will as well. So projected fantasy value, I could see him in a couple years being kind of like a tight end too. I could see him being in the top 20, definitely in the top 25. Looking at my ranks on my dashboard now, and what we got out there from the tight end position, it is slim pickings, man. So I'd love to see this guy hit. I'd love to see him get the draft capital. I'd love to see him land on a great team, because I think this kid could potentially be a tight end too on our dynasty rosters. What are your thoughts?
Yep, completely agree. Look, we've been disagreeing a little bit lately, which has been nice, but I think this episode we're going to be agreeing quite a bit.
Yeah. So player comp, I'm going to pull a guy that people in the last 4 weeks were kind of excited about. And it's a guy I really like from UCLA, was Greg Dulcich, right? I mean, he's playing for the Broncos right now. Another guy these guys are similar sizes in the mid 240s. I don't think Greg was some excellent blocker, coming out of UCLA either. So, and I really liked Dulcich's game. I thought he was another vertical guy in the passing game who really had some good athleticism, with yards after the catch ability. So what do you think about my comp for Dalton Kincaid?
I actually like that comp. I think that's a great comp. From watching him at UCLA, I could absolutely see the comparison there. My guy is going to be Evan Ingram, just the way he's versatile, the way he was used at Ole Miss. I see something very similar, and even the path can be similar. It might take him a minute to catch on, but I think once he does and the team, finds that confidence and trust in him, that tight end 2 area is definitely plausible.
I'll tell you what, Evan Ingram had a hell of a game last week.
Yes, he did. Maybe he's finally coming on again. Who knows?
Yeah, well, you know what? Get out of the Giants and you get in a new situation with the Jaguars, a better, different team, different coaching. And I think that all matters. That environment these players play in can make or break players. And he got a fresh start, and I think he's probably going to make the most of it. So
I do too.
So there you guys go. There is Dalton Kincaid. I'm going to post that USC game here shortly, so you can roll right into that after watching this. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to be doing these for every rookie that you're possibly going to draft in your 5 rounds come next April. So hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you tuning in. Got a lot of great films on this channel. Got, film breakdowns, all 22 stuff headed your way, getting you ready for your rookie drafts. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.